I don't know if y'all noticed this, but it looks like the Sooners are trending beautifully on that defensive line again, as another crystal ball just got dropped earlier today for Williams and Nwarneri, the defensive lineman out of Missouri, Lee Summit. And honestly, this just tells me the work that's being put in by Coach Miguel Chavis as well as Todd Bates is starting to pay dividends. Let's talk about all of that coming up here in about 10 seconds. What's good, everybody? It's your boy Jay here with Unfair Sports, where we take a pensive approach to the sports conversation. In this video, we're going to talk about another crystal ball defensive lineman potentially headed to Okklahoma, Williams Nwarneri, out of Lee Summit, Missouri. 5-star, top 10 player in the country, and some of the wins that Coach Miguel Chavis as well as Todd Bates are bringing here to Soonerland. So, besides that, before we get started, you got to make sure you jump in those comments. What's your thoughts on the Sooners winning Williams and Nwarneri, as well as Coach Todd Bates and staff, and Miguel Chavis going out there winning the big battles? I want to hear from you all to see what your thoughts on those victories. If you're new to the channel, hit that like, subscribe, as well as the bell notification. We are dropping a bunch of recruiting content. March is a busy month as visits are going to start happening and leading us into the heavy recruiting season this summer. So I want to hear from you. Make sure you come and join the family. But without further ado, let's jump into this crystal ball that just happened. And I also want to talk about the track record and the success we're seeing from Coach Miguel Chavis as well as Coach Todd Bates. I know there were a lot of doubters out there about this coaching staff and their ability to really get elite defensive linemen. Losing out on a player like David Hicks definitely sowed some doubt in some of the fans as well as Colton Vasek. But I'm telling you here and now that I'm here to tell you now, I don't think that that's a good reason to use against them as to why they're not really good recruiters, because Coach Chavis and Coach Bates has been showing us that they're able to bring in some elite talent. And so right now we get this crystal ball from Williams and Nwarneri. You've got Coach Chavis as the primary with Coach Bates as the secondary. And I'm going to keep it a buck, man. I think that this is a win. He came out and did a visit here on March 3rd. We talked about March 4th, my apologies. We talked about it on the live stream on Sunday evening. If you want to check that out, there is a link to that video here. And the big thing that came out of that was Steve Wiltfong from 24/7 put out an article talking about how much Williams loved the visit and his appreciation for Okklahoma and his thoughts about, coming here. There's a big battle with that, as Oklahoma was on the list with Colorado to win in Nwarneri's services. But with Oklahoma winning PJ Adebawe, who's from the same area, as well as a similar demeanor that I've read and heard made mention of from others, that they're both just kind of move quietly. They kind of do their thing. They do it in the shadows. They go out, they work, and they're super quiet. And it seems like that's something that really rubbed off on Nwarneri on his latest visit. That, he loves the coaching staff. His position coach, being Coach Chavis, is someone he adores. And he spoke very, very highly on both Coach Chavis and Coach Bates. And so that to me is a reflection on what they're doing right when it comes to specific recruits that they want to win. No shade to any others, but there are certain ones that they want to go after and win. And so you have him. I've seen our guy David Stone, good old Stoning, that's from Oklahoma, lives and plays at IMG in Florida. He's being recruited by Gerald McCoy, former Sooner, and you see him going back and forth. I'll show those tweets in a minute. But remember, Coach Chavis won Adebawe, who ended up being a top 12 player in the country in just about every single recruiting site, as well as what we would consider a 5-star plus, meaning every single recruiting services had him as a 5-star. So that's a huge win, and that shows you their ability to find talent and then get them to win and get them to commit. And they did that. They did that in July. PJ committed, and you really didn't hear from him again until he signed in December. That's his demeanor, and I think Williams is going to be similar. If he decides to commit, I can expect it within the next couple of months. Get locked down, and then completely shut down his recruiting, and he can focus on his senior year, focus on football, probably opt to come early and be in spring ball next year in 2024. So keeping it a buck, this coaching staff is doing everything you all wanted as far as recruiting. Look at the defensive lineman we're getting crystal ball for. We still got Nigel Smith down there in Melissa, Texas, and I really think that he's going to pull up as well. He's one player that it looks like he is leaning heavy on this team as well. And they're seeing the vision. There's a vision here with Coach Venables and then Coach Bates and Coach Chavis. They've all got a vision that these players seem to be buying into. So as a Sooner fan, you should be excited about what's coming down the line. And then talking about Stoney here, you've got Gerald McCoy, who's from Oklahoma City, doing the same recruiting on David Stone and saying, hey, Stoney, you need to go ahead and just make it happen. And after that crystal ball dropped, you saw a tweet from Gerald McCoy with the eyeball saying, come on, bro. It's time. Make the move. And then he replies back to him, of course, with the look. So I've heard rumors floating around the internet. I'm not going to say if it's true or not, but Stoney wants to commit. He's ready to get going. And we just got to wait for him to go ahead and just say, all right, this is where I'm going to be. This is where I'm going to be. And it could be potentially family wanting him to slow down. Totally get it if it is. But at the same time, he's a talent that should be staying in Oklahoma and be a part of those defensive linemen that we've brought in here and sent out to be elite in the NFL, from Gerald McCoy to your Tommy Harris. You know, you've got Perrion Winfrey. He's doing really good things in the NFL. We've seen them. We haven't seen a lot lately, but we're getting back to that era. So outside of that, man, I'm dope. I am stoked about Williams and Nwarneri deciding that Oklahoma's potentially his. He even retweeted the crystal ball from the Covered Wagons account showing that he is predicted to come to Oklahoma. That tells me that he's probably going to go ahead and hit that and say, hey, coach, I'm in. I want to be a part of this future. I want to be a part of what you guys are working on. So let's go with that. Thanks for pulling up. Hop in the comments. Let me know what your thoughts on Coach Chavis as well as Coach Bates and the work that they're doing down the line. Like I mentioned, I know some people have had their doubts. I've always stuck to the process to believe that it's going to make it happen. They're going to make it happen. If you're new to the channel, hit the like, subscribe, and bell notification, and join us. So outside of that, YouTube says to watch one of these videos. We'll have more coming through over the next few days. Peace.